Oprah Winfrey is reportedly furious following the release of Stedman Graham's new book, Identity Leadership, which exposes intimate details about their private relationship. After decades of maintaining a carefully guarded personal life, Oprah now faces the fallout from Stedman's candid revelations that hint at underlying frustrations and sacrifices within their partnership. Known for her grace and control over her public image, Oprah was blindsided by the exposure, which has sparked intense media scrutiny and public speculation. The book not only dives into Stedman's philosophy of self-leadership, but also subtly reveals tensions that many believed didn't exist in one of Hollywood's most stable and private relationships. As the controversy unfolds, questions arise about the future of their decades-long bond and the true nature of their personal dynamic. The Unexpected Storm, Stedman Graham's new book, and its fallout. The recent upheaval surrounding Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham finds its epicenter in Stedman's latest publication, Identity Leadership. This book is more than a career milestone for Graham. It's a deeply personal statement that has unexpectedly rocked the foundation of his decades-long partnership with Oprah. Known primarily as Oprah's steadfast companion rather than a public figure in his own right, Stedman steps into the spotlight with Identity Leadership to articulate his philosophy of self-mastery and leadership, a concept he has long lived by but has now brought into sharp focus. Identity Leadership explores the core belief that before one can lead others effectively, they must first master leadership of the self. This idea transcends conventional leadership theories by emphasizing personal responsibility, self-awareness, and authenticity as the critical building blocks of influence. Drawing on lessons from his own journey, marked by personal struggles, professional challenges, and unwavering determination, Stedman crafts a narrative of self-empowerment that resonates with anyone striving to unlock their full potential. However, the book's release quickly took a turn from inspirational to controversial, as it included intimate reflections on his relationship with Oprah. Unpacking the philosophy. 1 and 1 equals 6. One of the most compelling and provocative ideas presented in Identity Leadership is Stedman's concept of synergy within partnerships, encapsulated by the phrase, 1 and 1 equals about 6. This metaphor expresses the powerful multiplication effect when two people come together, fully committed to supporting and actualizing each other's potential. According to Stedman, an ideal partnership transcends simple addition. It creates exponential growth through mutual empowerment. Yet, woven throughout the book are subtle suggestions that this ideal synergy remains elusive in his relationship with Oprah. Stedman hints at a dynamic where, despite his dedication and support, he has often felt relegated to the background while Oprah's star continued to rise. This layered admission has sparked intense speculation among fans and insiders alike. Has Stedman felt overshadowed, sidelined, or underappreciated after decades as the quiet anchor to one of the world's most influential women? This tension between public perception and private reality adds complexity to their story. The public and private divide. Oprah's reaction. Oprah Winfrey, renowned for her poise and mastery of public image management, reportedly experienced a rare moment of vulnerability following the book's release and Stedman's subsequent media appearances. Sources close to Oprah describe a scene of shock and disbelief as she confronted the wave of media coverage and social media conversations dissecting Stedman's personal disclosures. Known for her ability to remain composed, even in the face of intense scrutiny, Oprah's reaction reportedly included visible signs of distress, an audible frustration and unease rarely seen by those in her inner circle. The candid nature of the book, particularly the exposure of intimate details about their partnership, was perceived by Oprah as a breach of trust, a violation of the privacy she has always fiercely guarded. This breach has fueled widespread speculation about whether these revelations have deepened existing fissures in their relationship. The very relationship that had been portrayed as a solid and private sanctuary now appears vulnerable, with Oprah forced to navigate the emotional fallout under the unforgiving gaze of the public. The history of a partnership, 3 decades of loyalty and support. To fully grasp the weight of these recent developments, it's essential to reflect on the history of Oprah and Stedman's relationship, a partnership spanning more than 3 decades. They met in the early 1980s during a transformative period in Oprah's life, when she was rapidly ascending the ranks of television journalism and beginning to establish herself as a media powerhouse. Their relationship developed quietly, shielded from the glare of fame and tabloids. Stedman, an accomplished author, businessman, and educator, was content to remain out of the spotlight, offering a steady, grounding presence amidst the chaos of Oprah's public life. Unlike Oprah's meteoric rise to global celebrity, Stedman chose a path defined by steady growth and advocacy for leadership and personal development, particularly among young people. Their union came to symbolize mutual respect and shared values. Oprah frequently credited Stedman with providing wisdom, encouragement, and a calming influence that helped her navigate her hectic career. Meanwhile, Stedman admired Oprah's vision, tenacity, and the platform she built. Their private life was closely guarded, a rarity in celebrity culture, projecting an image of stability and strength that stood out against the often tumultuous landscape of high-profile relationships. Stedman Graham's philosophy: leadership beyond the spotlight. Stedman Graham's ideas, particularly those laid out in Identity Leadership and his earlier book Move Without the Ball, reveal a distinctive approach to leadership and success, one centered on self-discipline, foresight, and proactive positioning. Move Without the Ball uses basketball as a metaphor for life and leadership, emphasizing how strategic movement, even when not in direct control, can open doors to opportunity and influence. This philosophy reflects Stedman's own life story. From his early days cleaning latrines in the military to carving out a career as a respected author and leadership coach, his journey has been shaped by perseverance, resilience, and a commitment to preparing oneself for success. He extends this approach to mentoring young people, especially through initiatives that promote STEM education and leadership skills in underserved communities. Stedman's advocacy for self-leadership extends beyond individual achievement. He champions the idea that true leadership shines brightest when it empowers others quietly and effectively, often away from the spotlight. The question of balance: has Stedman felt sidelined? Stedman Graham's Identity Leadership delivers an inspiring message about self-mastery, resilience, and leadership. Yet, beneath its motivational surface, the book also raises pressing questions about how these principles have been reflected in his own life, particularly in his relationship with Oprah Winfrey. For over 3 decades, the pair have presented themselves as a united front, balancing the extraordinary demands of Oprah's global stardom with the quieter, steady role Stedman has played. But Stedman's candid reflections hint at a more complicated truth. Despite affirming his unwavering support for Oprah's success and happiness, Stedman's nuanced comments suggest moments of personal sacrifice and feelings of invisibility. The delicate tension between nurturing a partner's soaring career while also tending to one's own ambitions is an intricate dance. This challenge is amplified when one partner's public profile is as vast and luminous as Oprah's, a media titan whose influence spans continents. Is Stedman's openness in Identity Leadership, a long overdue expression of personal frustrations, finally finding voice, Or does it unintentionally expose fissures in a relationship once believed to be unshakable? This question cuts to the heart of the current public speculation. The media frenzy, public scrutiny, and social media storm. Since the release of Identity Leadership and Stedman's subsequent interviews, media outlets have been relentless, dissecting every nuance and angle of the unfolding story. The press has churned out a spectrum of narratives, from empathetic profiles of Stedman's decades-long journey of self-discovery to critical analyses questioning Oprah's response and resilience. Social media platforms, notorious for their lightning-fast and often polarizing reactions, erupted almost immediately. Hashtags like #Oprah Drama and #Stedman Speaks trended worldwide, sparking heated debates among fans and critics alike. Supporters rallied fiercely around Oprah, celebrating her trailblazing career and decades of philanthropy, while others wrestled with the newly revealed complexities lurking beneath her polished public persona. This division in public opinion underscores a broader cultural conversation about celebrity culture and authenticity. The public increasingly demands transparency, but simultaneously holds celebrities to near-impossible standards of perfection. Oprah's story resonates with many because it reflects this tension between the idealized image that audiences love and the often messy, complicated reality behind the scenes. The broader implications: identity, authenticity, and the public eye. What started as a personal story between two people is also emblematic of larger societal themes. Oprah's current predicament throws into sharp relief the struggle to reconcile identity and authenticity under the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. In today's hyper-connected world, where social media platforms amplify every slip and magnify every private conflict, public figures live under a microscope. The demand for unblemished perfection clashes with the truth that human relationships are inherently complex and imperfect. Oprah's story humanizes this tension, reminding us that no amount of fame or influence immunizes someone against the vulnerabilities of love, ambition, and personal growth. Her experience invites reflection on the cost of public life. The emotional labor required to maintain a persona that satisfies fans and stakeholders, and the private sacrifices made to protect oneself and one's loved ones. It raises critical questions about what it truly means to be authentic in the age of constant exposure. The fall of an icon, Oprah Winfrey's public reckoning. For decades, Oprah Winfrey has been more than a media personality. She has been a beacon of hope, empowerment, and resilience. Rising from a challenging childhood in rural Mississippi to become one of the most influential women in the world, Oprah's narrative is one of transformation through strength, wisdom, and self-belief. She symbolizes the power of perseverance and the possibility of redefining one's destiny against the odds. Yet, in an unexpected twist, this scandal has peeled back the layers of her meticulously constructed public persona to reveal vulnerabilities seldom seen by the public. At the heart of this upheaval is Stedman Graham, her longtime partner and confidant of over 30 years, whose revelations have shaken the public's perception of their relationship as a symbol of stability and mutual respect. Oprah now finds herself navigating a rare and difficult reckoning, a moment where the untouchable icon confronts very human challenges. The situation threatens not only her personal life, but also her professional legacy, built on an image of control, empowerment, and grace under pressure. The private betrayal made public. What makes the current scandal involving Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham so poignant and painful is its deeply personal nature. Oprah has long been fiercely protective of her private life, a sanctuary carefully shielded from the intrusive glare of the media. While her public work centers around sharing personal stories and advocating for openness, she has drawn a resolute line around her relationship with Stedman, guarding it as one of the few remaining bastions of privacy in her otherwise highly public existence. Now, with Stedman's candid disclosures in his latest book, Identity Leadership, and subsequent interviews, that sacred boundary has been irreversibly crossed. What was once a source of private strength and refuge has become a very public battleground. The revelations, intimate insights into the sacrifices and frustrations within their partnership, have sent ripples through the media and stirred a maelstrom of speculation, dissecting the once tightly held image of stability and mutual respect. For Oprah, this public nature of betrayal cuts far deeper than the heartbreak that any private relationship might endure. The brand of empowerment and its challenges. Oprah Winfrey's brand transcends the typical celebrity persona. It is a cultural phenomenon. Her name has long been synonymous with trust, inspiration, and transformative empowerment. For millions, Oprah represents the embodiment of resilience, the ultimate success story of rising from humble beginnings in rural Mississippi to becoming a global media mogul, philanthropist, and cultural icon. Through her groundbreaking talk shows, her own network, philanthropic initiatives, and public appearances, Oprah has championed messages of hope, self-improvement, and the relentless pursuit of personal growth. She has inspired legions of followers to believe in themselves and to confront life's challenges with courage. Yet, this current crisis raises difficult questions about the fragility of that narrative. Can the exposure of her private turmoil diminish the very legacy she has worked so tirelessly to build? Among her vast base of supporters, many stand firmly by her side, emphasizing her decades of contributions to society, groundbreaking work in media, and unwavering philanthropy. To these fans, Oprah's legacy remains intact, an enduring symbol of strength even amid personal pain. The personal cost. Oprah's emotional journey. Beneath the headlines and public speculation lies a profoundly human story, one of pain, betrayal, and resilience. Sources close to Oprah describe her as deeply hurt by Stedman's public disclosures, feeling betrayed not only by the content revealed, but by the breach of privacy itself. For a woman who has always sought to control her narrative and protect the sanctity of her personal life, this intrusion has been profoundly painful and unsettling. Her emotional response, marked by anger, frustration, and vulnerability, is something many can relate to, especially those who have experienced the sting of personal betrayal. However, Oprah's pain is intensified by the scale of public exposure, where every reaction is amplified, dissected, and transformed into headlines. This chapter in Oprah's life is not merely about her relationships unraveling, it is a poignant confrontation with identity under the unforgiving spotlight of fame. It exposes the delicate balancing act public figures must perform, managing their vast influence while coping with private struggles. Oprah's story humanizes this tension, shedding light on the complexities of navigating love, trust, and personal growth in a world where privacy is increasingly elusive. Stedman Graham's role and the future of their relationship. For decades, Stedman Graham has been recognized as the steadfast, supportive partner standing quietly beside Oprah Winfrey, a figure who maintained a low profile while enabling her meteoric rise. Yet in the wake of his recent candid revelations in identity leadership, Stedman has unexpectedly found himself thrust into the spotlight, becoming the center of a swirling media storm. His openness about the complexities of their relationship has ignited a firestorm of public opinion, raising difficult questions about loyalty, motives, and the future of a partnership that has spanned over 30 years. Critics have been quick to judge. Some accuse Stedman of betrayal, arguing that revealing private struggles betrays the sanctity of their decades-long relationship. Others, however, view his candor through a different lens, speculating that his desire for personal growth and public recognition might have contributed to the rift. For a man who has long lived in Oprah's shadow, the book and interviews could be seen as an attempt to assert his own identity and accomplishments. Regardless of motive, the impact on Stedman's public image has been significant, with insiders suggesting he faces intense pressure to repair both his reputation and his relationship if reconciliation is to be possible. Broader societal reflections, identity, authenticity, and media pressure. This scandal extends beyond the private and personal, serving as a mirror reflecting broader societal dynamics in an era dominated by social media and relentless public scrutiny. Today, the pressure on public figures to maintain flawless, curated personas is immense. Behind every carefully managed image lies a human being grappling with contradictions, vulnerabilities, and sometimes painful truths. Oprah's fallibility, exposed in such a public and raw manner, is a powerful reminder that no one, no matter how powerful or influential, is immune to the complexities of human relationships and the burdens of public expectation. The gulf between the identities people present to the world and the realities they experience behind closed doors is a perennial tension, now magnified exponentially by the immediacy of social media and 24/7 news cycles. This story invites critical reflection on the costs of maintaining an idealized public persona. It challenges society to reconsider its appetite for celebrity perfection and to acknowledge the emotional toll such pressures impose. Authenticity becomes not just a virtue, but a necessity, a way to bridge the often jarring gap between appearance and reality. Oprah's experience serves as a case study in the precarious balance between vulnerability and strength that public figures must navigate. The road ahead: anticipation and speculation. As the media frenzy shows no sign of abating, speculation swirls around Oprah's next moves. Will she choose to address the controversy head-on with a televised interview or public statement? Might she embark on a more reflective, intimate project designed to reclaim her narrative and reframe the story on her own terms? Or will she retreat from the spotlight to protect her privacy, allowing time and distance to heal wounds while the public watches and waits? Rumors of a major media event have fueled expectations that Oprah may be preparing a carefully orchestrated response, one designed to demonstrate vulnerability, reclaim control, and remind the world of her enduring strength. Given her history of resilience and poise in overcoming crises, many anticipate she will emerge from this storm stronger and more grounded. Meanwhile, Stedman's future remains less certain. His public role is under re-evaluation, and his place in Oprah's personal life hangs in the balance. Whether their partnership can be recalibrated to meet the evolving needs of both individuals, or if this marks the beginning of a definitive split, remains an open question. Both must confront profound changes, individually and together. Oprah's ever-evolving career and the crucial role of partnership. Oprah Winfrey's career is nothing short of legendary, a dynamic and ever-expanding journey that continues to influence millions worldwide. From her early days as a local talk show host in Chicago to becoming a media titan and philanthropic powerhouse, Oprah has redefined what it means to succeed as a woman in entertainment and business. Her empire includes a network, publishing ventures, philanthropic organizations, and cultural influence that few can match. At this pivotal point, the need for a strong, supportive partner has never been more critical. Sources close to Oprah reveal that she has always sought growth not only for herself, but also within her closest relationships. She surrounds herself with individuals who challenge her, who push boundaries and foster innovation. This relentless drive for personal and professional evolution has been foundational to her success. For decades, Stedman Graham was that partner. Loyal, steady, and quietly supportive. A symbol of stability amid Oprah's whirlwind public life. Divided public opinion. Resilience versus skepticism. Public reaction to the scandal has been sharply divided, underscoring the complex interplay between celebrity, perception, and personal reality. On one side, there are steadfast supporters who believe the controversy will inflict little lasting damage on Oprah's storied career. They point to her decades of overcoming adversity, her extraordinary resilience, and her remarkable ability to transcend crises. For these loyal fans, Oprah's strength is nearly invincible. This scandal will become merely another chapter in her ongoing narrative of perseverance and triumph. On the other side, an emerging faction of skeptics' voices concern that this could mark the beginning of a slow unraveling. For years, Oprah has been crowned the Queen of Media, an almost mythic figure whose influence seemed untouchable. Now, with the public airing of personal difficulties, some question whether this scandal could become a chink in her armor, weakening her reign in a media landscape hungry for drama and scandal. In today's volatile environment, even monumental figures are not immune to shifting tides of reputation and public sentiment. The unfolding story of influence and humanity. The scandal involving Oprah Winfrey and Stedman Graham transcends mere tabloid gossip. It is a nuanced exploration of the intersection between personal relationships and the intense pressures that come with immense public influence. At its heart, this story reveals a universal truth. Regardless of power or status, vulnerability and imperfection are intrinsic to the human experience. As Oprah and Stedman navigate this pivotal moment, their decisions will not only determine the future of their decades-long partnership, but also influence the evolving narrative of one of the world's most iconic figures. Their journey highlights the complex balancing act between maintaining authenticity and managing the expectations imposed by relentless public scrutiny. In an age that often demands flawless personas from those in the spotlight, Oprah's story serves as a powerful reminder that true strength is found in embracing one's humanity, complete with flaws, struggles, and growth. This scandal, while challenging, also offers an opportunity for renewal and reflection, underscoring the courage it takes to be authentic in a world that frequently values perfection over honesty. Ultimately, Oprah's resilience and willingness to confront vulnerability reaffirm her place not just as a media mogul, but as a profoundly relatable human being.